Your diet is ruining your life, and not in the way you think. You might think that diet only controls a few parts of your life. For example, your fitness and your weight and your health. But actually, your diet is a mass manipulator behind a lot of other factors. So, imagine, think about this. Are you feeling sluggish, unfocused, or drained of energy throughout the day? Well, it might not be what you think, and this might surprise you. It might be your diet that is controlling this. So, let's explore the unexpected ways that our diet impacts our daily lives. Specifically, let's focus on the effects of excess carbohydrates and how they can ruin your energy levels throughout the day and your mental clarity. So, reflecting on my own experiences, I've noticed a very big difference from when I have carbs to when I don't have carbs in my mental performance. And when I consume too many carbs, it leads to brain fog and this kind of lethargy throughout the day where my brain feels too lazy to go and do anything. And this could be taking away hours of productivity. In fact, I have a story to share. One time we had three tests in a row. We had three science tests for the three different sciences. And I decided that to maximize my performance, I would cut out carbohydrates for 3 days and see what happens. Because I learned this advice that carbohydrates give you brain fog because your glucose levels crash. And I decided to implement it. And it had such a bigger impact than I could ever imagine. On those tests, I performed better than I ever did. I'm not going to disclose the grades, but it was very good. So, let's talk about how you can balance your diet in order to make reducing carb intake suitable for you. So, the first thing is incorporating good protein. So, protein is very important in stabilizing blood sugar and it promotes satiety so you won't feel this carb hunger all the time where you feel like you need to be snacking on something with carbohydrates, with sugar in it. That's why you should eat sources of protein like chicken, fish, meat, and nuts, for example, in meals to support energy and to repair your muscles better. So, some snacks that you can have throughout the day, which are high in protein and low in carbs, because I know that when we snack, it tends to be something that's sugary or high in carbohydrates, like starchy, and that can again give you brain fog if you're just throughout the day or at school or at work. So some protein rich snacks would be Greek yogurt, it would be nuts. I honestly don't know any others. There's probably like protein bars if you can find a good one without any sugar, without any additives. So the second thing is replacing those excess carbohydrates with healthy fats. There's a lot of propaganda about how fats are bad for you, but in reality, fats can be very good for you because here are some of the benefits of fats. So, brain health, sustained energy, fats just give you that refreshness and again, kind of as if you just woke up. And you should eat more fat than everybody is telling you. So, some sources of healthy fat are avocados, uh, nuts, seeds, olive oil, cheese, and you can incorporate this into meals pretty easily. Like, you could just put olive oil on basically anything you eat, or make anything you eat with olive oil. And that's not only going to benefit your gym progress because it's extra calories, so you're going to get bigger quicker, it's also, again, going to give you the other benefits of fats. And finally, how do we reduce carb intake? So, it's very important to moderate this carb intake because it is the actual reason behind this brain fog and lethargy. When you eat too many carbs, it causes a sugar high, right? Which lasts for about an hour or so. But after, your brain and your body rapidly lose energy. So you'll be lethargic and unfocused. You won't be able to focus on any meaningful work if you've already had carbs more than an hour ago, especially if it's something that's like low glycemic, slowly digesting carbs, because that's also taking a toll on your body's systems. Well, as you're digesting it, it takes energy. So, what are some practical tips to reduce high carb foods like sugary snacks, refined grains, processed foods? Well, there's healthier alternatives which are very underrated and not talked about very often. For example, I used to eat potatoes and rice with every meal, but now I eat cauliflower, spinach, broccoli, and these three, they taste slightly worse, you could argue. I like them about the same, but that's just because I've gotten so used to them. But that simple change has given me extra hours of productivity after I come back from school. Because before, I would do all my works in the morning. Like right now, I'm recording this video. It's like, 5:26? But usually, I can only work in the morning. However, when I incorporate these things into my dinner, I can get an extra few hours of productivity, so I can get my schoolwork done in the evenings and have more meaningful work like this to do in the morning. So, what's an actionable step that you can do to make sure that you can have this benefit for yourself and implement it into your own life? So, let's reflect on your own carb intake. You probably have carbs with every meal, and the type of carbs that give you this brain fog and lethargy. So, let's experiment with reducing your high carb foods in just one meal of the day. Pick one meal. For me, it was dinner, where you can replace the carbs with something else, and you can see how it impacts your level of focus and mental clarity throughout the day, because it's gonna be way more than you think. Like, it will exceed your expectations, and you can, like, if that's too hard, which it shouldn't be because it's only one meal per day where you have to resist it, just gradually cut it out from that meal or from all meals. Like, gradually eat less carbs. And there are some common misconceptions for you, and that's that all carbs are bad. But that's not really true, because there's a difference between simple and complex carbohydrates. Simple carbohydrates are the ones that digest quickly, that give you this sugar, that are more likely to give you this sugar high, which both of them do, but simple carbohydrates give you more of, and then simple carbohydrates also give you a bigger sugar crash. But you also shouldn't be having complex carbohydrates when you're about to do work either, because complex carbohydrates take a lot of the body's energy to simply digest, and therefore they're going to take away a lot of your body's resources, and you won't be able to work or think at peak performance. And it's not really about eliminating carbs, but it's rather about finding this type of balance where you pick what times you eat it throughout the day, where you don't have like important work, where you're just hanging out with friends or family or something, so that you can still have the benefits of carbs, like having the energy. But when you have this, when you have this sugar crash, it won't affect you as much. So let's summarize. You should eat more fats because they're good for you. I don't know if I mentioned this. If you're a young man, it also boosts your testosterone. If you eat high fat foods, you should eat more protein because obviously you've heard this advice a million times. But protein also keeps you fuller, keeps you from craving carbs, builds more muscle, and and reduce your carb intake by having one meal where you don't eat carbs at all and seeing what happens. So that's it for today. Follow my Patreon, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and embrace progress, not perfection. See ya.